Hey guys, in this video I'm going to teach you how to evaluate a 2x2 determinant both manually and using the calculator. We're going to start with what the rule is in determining a 2x2 determinant. So if you're given an array of numbers in 2x2 format and you want to figure out the determinant, you're going to start at the upper left and multiply along that diagonal towards the bottom right. So you're going to end up getting a times d. And then you're going to subtract from that the product of the diagonal starting from the bottom left and going up. So that's going to be C times B. So this right here is going to be your rule for evaluating a 2x2 determinant. This really isn't too difficult. Let's take a look at a specific example. If you want, you can pause the video and try to do it first before I do it here. Okay, so the determinant is going to be found by starting at the upper left at the 8. And going down this way. So we're going to say 8 times 1, and then we're going to subtract from that 6 times 5. Now 8 times 1 is 8, and 6 times 5 is 30. So we end up getting negative 22. Okay, let's try example 2. Again, pause the video if you want to try to do it first. So I'm going to start at the upper left, and I do want to point out that when some of the numbers in your array, your 2x2 array, are negative, it does get a little bit more challenging. The signs can screw people up, so just be a little careful with that. So this is going to be the product of negative 6 times 5, and I'm going to subtract from that the product of 8 and negative 2. And you may have noticed the way I'm setting up was a little bit different than in the first one because of those negatives. I'm taking a little bit more time so I don't mess that up. Negative 6 times 5 is negative 30. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. Minus a negative, of course, becomes a positive. So we end up with negative 14. Okay, in our last example, it's a little bit more complicated. You'll see that one of the things in the array is an x rather than a number, but the whole thing is equal to 24. So I'm going to set up a problem based on the rule on the upper left and set the whole thing equal to 24. So what I'm going to end up getting is 2 times negative 3 minus 5 times x, and that equals 24. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, and minus 5x equals 24. We will add 6 to both sides, then I end up with 30. And then if I divide both sides by negative 5, I get x equals negative 6. Okay, now I'm going to revisit some of these same problems, but this time with the calculator so I can show you how to do that. So at this time, if you haven't done so already, get your graphing calculators. Okay, let's do example 1 over again, but this time rather than doing it by hand, we'll use the calculator. I'm going to turn the calculator on, and I'm going to access the matrix button, which is second, and then it's down here in yellow, matrix. Second matrix. And I'm going to enter this 2x2 determinant, or this 2x2 array of numbers under matrix A. So to do that, I go to Edit, and which is all the way over to the right, and I'm going to select matrix A. And right now it's set to be a 1 by 1, but I need it to be a 2 by 2. So I'm going to press 2, enter, and then 2, enter again. And you'll notice when I do that, the size of the matrix changes. So now I'm just going to enter the values: 8, enter, 5, enter, 6, enter, 1, enter. And you want to make sure that just do a quick double check that what you have entered in is exactly what you're supposed to do. Now, I want to find the determinant of this matrix. So I'm going to go to the calculating screen, which is second mode. This is the screen that allows you to do any sort of calculation. And I'm going to go back to that matrix menu. And this time I'm going to go to Math, which is over 1. And the first option is DET, which stands for determinant. So I'm going to select that. Now, you've got to tell the calculator to find the determinant of which specific matrix. and it's going to be matrix A. So you've got to go back to the matrix menu and select number 1, which is where A is. And then when you press enter, you should get the determinant. Now when we did it by hand, we got negative 22. Hopefully that'll be the same. Ah, alas, it is. Very good. Okay, let's try this again with example number 2. Okay, so I'm going to clear this out, and I'm going to go to the matrix menu again, and I'm going to edit, and I'm going to edit matrix A again, and it's a 2 by 2, so that's all good, but I'm going to change the values. Negative 6, enter, negative 2, enter, 8, enter, 5, enter. Okay, I'm going to go back to the calculating screen. Now I'm going to use a little trick now, because there's often a lot of buttons that need to be pressed in working with matrices. So rather than pressing the matrix menu several times to get the determinant and then matrix A again, what I'm simply going to do is recall the last time that I did it by pressing second and then enter. This is the last time I performed this operation, and I just called it back up. So now when I press enter, hopefully I'll get negative 14, because what's happening is the calculator is evaluating the determinant of the latest matrix A. And this over here is what I plugged in for matrix A. So hopefully it's negative 14. All right, this is looking good. Now, when you have something, if you have an X in your matrix, you can't do this. It only works if you put in numbers. So hopefully, at this point, you now have an idea of how to evaluate a 2 by 2 matrix by hand and using the calculator.